नमस्कार, स्वागत है आप सभी का हमारे खास शो नेचर एंड यू में। आज हम स्टूडियो में आपको एक ऐसी शख्सियत से मिलवाने जा रहे हैं जिन्होंने बर्ड वॉचिंग के सफ़र में कई अद्भुत पक्षियों की दुनिया को बेहद नज़दीक से देखा है। हमारे साथ हैं मैडम मंजुला माथुर, पूर्व इंडियन डिफेंस अकाउंट सर्विस अधिकारी, ऑथर और बर्ड वॉचिंग की शौकीन। मैम, बहुत स्वागत है आपका सनसेट टीवी पर।
थैंक यू
मैम, आज हम आपके साथ मिलकर उन खूबसूरत पंखों, रंगों और आवाज़ों के पीछे की अनसुनी कहानियों को तो आपसे जानेंगे ही, लेकिन साथ ही आज हम अपने दर्शकों को कुदरत की गोद में बिताए वो खास पल भी दिखाएंगे जहां आपने वो पल बिताकर उन पक्षियों को अपने बाइनोकुलर्स और लेंसेज के पीछे उस दुनिया को कैद किया है। आज हम उन रोमांचक कहानियों से आप सभी को रूबरू कराएंगे। तो चलिए शुरुआत करते हैं परिंदों की खूबसूरत दुनिया की, बियॉन्ड द बाइनोकुलर्स एंड कैमरा लेंसेज की। मैम, आपने किताब लिखी है बर्ड्स अबोर्ड। कहते हैं कि जब फोटोग्राफर कोई किताब लिखते हैं तो उसमें लिखने से ज़्यादा वो दिखता है, और हमें इस किताब में दिखा भी। मैम, एक लंबा सफ़र, एक लंबी जर्नी, हर पक्षी को देखना, कहीं रुक जाना, कहीं अटक जाना, और फिर उसे बहुत समय तक देखते रहना, और फिर उसे किताब तक ले आना। एक लंबी जर्नी तो निश्चित रूप से है।
यस
नाम आपने रखा बर्ड्स अबोर्ड। क्या ख्याल था मन में?
Actually, what I was trying was, I was classifying the birds according to their habitat. Now, if I had named it birds habitats, it would look very boring. So I wrote birds aboard. It doesn't mean a home. It just means where these birds are found.
इस पूरे सफ़र में अगर मैं पूछूं तो सबसे शानदार अनुभव आपका कौन सा रहा?
When we went for the Lisu Wren Babbler in eastern Arunachal Pradesh. It was a very difficult hike. We had to climb a mountain called Mount Mugafi. We were staying in a village called Mazgaon, which was bordering Myanmar. And the homestay was very basic. We had to walk from the homestay to the mountain. There were no roads. We stayed overnight in Deer Camp, which was halfway up the mountain, and it rained in the night, and I was thinking, how will we do the climb, because I heard that the climb was very difficult. We started at 6:30 in the morning, and after 2 hours we got the bird. That was one of the happiest moments in my life. Lisu Wren Babbler is the newest wren babbler discovered in India.
और वो जो लिसू रेन बैबलर की आपकी तस्वीर है जो आपने खींची है, वो ज़रूर मैं अपने दर्शकों को दिखाना चाहूँगी। मैम, इसकी कोई अनोखी विशेषता या कोई ऐसी बारीकी जो आप हमें बताना चाहें?
मैं ये बोलना चाहूँगी कि this bird was discovered 2 years back by a Bangalore team of bird watchers. They had gone to look for the grey-bellied wren babbler. Then they saw this wren babbler, and they found that this wren babbler had a white belly, and its song was also different. So they immediately knew that this was a new bird. They called it the Lisu Wren Babbler after the name of the tribals who live there, the Lisu tribals. Okay. And then we went after 2 years to find this bird. This bird, we saw the male and the female bird, and the best part of it was they were singing.
Oh.
So we heard their song also, we recorded their song. It's a very cute bird with red eyes and scaly back, white belly, a small tail, wonderful. And we felt like we had conquered the world
Wow.
after getting this wren babbler, because it was so difficult to reach the place, the remote place where it was found. And it is found in a very limited range. And other places where it is found is in China and Myanmar.
Okay.
So this is the first time the Lisu wren babbler was discovered in India. And we were lucky that after the discovery we could go and see this bird.
I was going through your books and I have seen several birds. You're talking about wren babblers. I've seen one more wren babbler you've mentioned here. And it's not Lisu.
It is the rufous-throated wren babbler.
Absolutely. But it's a wren babbler. How to differentiate between the two babblers?
It's very easy because the Lisu wren babbler has a white throat, while the rufous-throated wren babbler has a deep orange throat. And of course, even their habitat is almost the same, but this I saw in Padamchan in East Sikkim. In fact, we had to go on 2 occasions to see this bird because it was so skulking. It didn't want to come out. On the first day we went, I just got bits and pieces of the bird as photographs. The next day it came out, it's perched on a rock. Later it perched on a clear branch and it sang.
Wow.
So that is how we got this shot.
तो सभी wren babblers वो गाना गाती हैं.
सभी गाते हैं, but the songs are different.
Okay. Behaviors अलग हैं, गाना अलग है.
Behaviors are not so different. I mean, they all have skulking behaviors.
Right.
They hide in the undergrowth of montane forests. And they come out rarely, and you have to be very patient in waiting for them.
एक पक्षी आपने कैप्चर किया, हिमालय मोनाल. इट्स वेरी ब्यूटीफुल, वेरी कलरफुल. ये जो रंग हैं, क्या ये सिर्फ प्राकृतिक आकर्षण है या इसके पीछे कोई साइंटिफिक रीजन भी है?
The Himalayan monal is one of the most beautiful birds in the Indian subcontinent. It is seen from Pakistan, Afghanistan to Tibet, China. So it's got a wide range. Bhutan, Nepal. It's got a wide range and it is so beautiful. It's called I call it the rainbow bird. It looks as if the bird has been dipped in all the rainbow colors. It's got all 7 colors and it has got these colors because the bird wants to attract female monals for breeding.
Oh.
So in the breeding season, the male monal displays. These colors are to attract the females. The females are very drab in color. They are brown because they have to, their interest is to breed with the males, and then afterwards they are responsible for the rearing of the chicks, fledging them and all that, all the nest maintenance activities. While the male is like a true Romeo, roams around and attracts other females. So it is for, nature has made it so beautiful so that it can attract females for breeding.
Absolutely. मैम अगली तस्वीर की ओर रुख करते हैं. बहुत सी तस्वीरें जो आपने क्लिक की हैं, उसमें से एक तस्वीर इस पक्षी की भी है जो बहुत अलग है दिखने में. ये पक्षी कौन सा?
This is a Kokla's pheasant.
Okay, and this is also a Himalayan bird.
Yes, it's found in India, in Himachal Pradesh, in Uttarakhand, Kashmir and Kashmir.
Ma'am, in comparison to other hilly birds, how this bird is different?
It is different because it can fly quite far, for many miles. Normally the pheasants are heavy birds. So they just, when alarmed, when they are disturbed, they just fly for a short distance, they fly a short distance and they land on the hill. But this bird can fly uphill also,
Okay.
and it can fly for many miles. So this is the way it protects itself.
दैट्स ग्रेट। मैम, एक पक्षी है, बहुत लंबी सी बीक है और हम सभी पहचान लेते हैं कि ये किंगफिशर है, और अक्सर हमने किंगफिशर कई बुक्स में देखा और हर बच्चा उस पक्षी को पहचान लेता है। बट वाइल आई वॉज गोइंग थ्रू योर फोटोग्राफ्स आई फाउंड 2 टाइप्स ऑफ किंगफिशर्स एंड बोथ वर डिफरेंट इन कलर्स।
This is a black-backed kingfisher or Oriental dwarf kingfisher. इसका बीक जो है ये रेड है,
जी।
and this bird has a different colored beak. It's a black beak. This bird is a collared kingfisher which I shot in Sundarbans, and they are different because they are different species of kingfishers.
ओह
They are 2 separate species.
मैम, क्या ये पानी के पास पाए जाते हैं?
Collared kingfisher is found always near water,
ओके।
and
द ओरिएंटल ड्वार्फ किंगफिशर?
also found near water, but it does not nest near water, but it always goes to water. It dives into small streams and ponds for fish to feed the chicks. In fact, it sits on a perch above the water and tries to look for feed for the chicks like lizards, spiders, beetles, frogs. So it is a bird which is, it's a forest kingfisher. The collared kingfisher is not a forest kingfisher, but the Oriental dwarf kingfisher is a forest kingfisher, always found near streams, ponds, little water bodies.
जी, रुक करते हैं अगले पक्षी का।
This is a red spurfowl female, which I shot in Kotagiri in Nilgiris. This is the male.
मैम, इन पक्षियों के बारे में कहा जाता है कि इनकी आवाज़ अक्सर जंगलों में गूंजती है। क्या ये कोई अनोखा कॉल करने का तरीका है, एक दूसरे को कुछ बताने का तरीका है, इन्फॉर्म करने का तरीका है? आपने इनके बिहेवियर को काफ़ी स्टडी किया है, आप कुछ बता सकते हैं इसके बारे में?
I saw this bird, the red spurfowl, in Tadoba National Park in Maharashtra.
जी।
They live in Tadoba is a big forest. It's a tiger reserve. I have often seen them coming out of the forest in the early mornings and feeding near the forest edge. But they are so scared of any human disturbance that as soon as our car stops, they rush into the forest with a clucking sound. That's an alarm call.
ओह,
It's an alarm call. I have not heard the call which when males are calling to females or females are calling to males, but I've heard the alarm call. They are very difficult to photograph, almost impossible if you're in a forest. But this we got in Kotagiri and it was relatively easy.
मैम, आपने जैसा पहले भी बताया और हम भी आपके ये दोनों तस्वीरें देख पा रहे हैं, फीमेल और मेल की। अगर दोनों को कंपैरेटिवली देखें तो मेल्स ज़्यादा खूबसूरत होते हैं। आपने इसे बहुत करीब से देखा है, आप क्या कहेंगी?
In birds,
यस मैम।
most males are more attractive so that they can attract the females for breeding purposes. This male is of the red spurfowl is almost chestnut colored, while the female is grayish with lot of barring on its back. But this is basically to attract females. But there are some birds where the females are better looking.
मैम, अगले पक्षी की बात करते हैं।
This is a red phalarope.
मैम, ये पक्षी बहुत दूर आर्कटिक से आते हैं। आपने इन्हें जब अपने कैमरे में कैद किया तो ये एक्सपीरियंस कैसा रहा?
A bird, it's a wader, which breeds in the Arctic and comes to the tropical seas during winter.
जी।
And this bird is actually never seen so much inland because I saw it in Sambar in Rajasthan, which is really very much inland. And in fact, this bird is a vagrant to India because it's not seen in India. So when I came to know that red phalarope has arrived in Sambar, I rushed to get a picture. And in fact, to get this picture, I did, as I thought at that time, a dangerous thing, in the sense that the phalarope was near rail tracks, in a pond near rail tracks. So in order to get an eye level shot, I lay on the rail tracks. But I was told that, because I saw that the rail tracks were rusty, and the salt trains, the trains which transport salt in Sambar, they are not being used anymore.
पर मैम एक बात ज़रूर कहनी पड़ेगी कि ये तस्वीर जो आपकी स्क्रीन पर इस वक्त दिखाई दे रही है, ये बहुत कुछ कहती है। ये उस शिद्दत को बयां करती है कि किस तरीके से हम एक तस्वीर लेने के लिए, एक पक्षी को अपने कैमरा में कैद करने के लिए उस शिद्दत से लग जाते हैं, क्योंकि हम जानते हैं कि ये जो आकर्षण अभी हम देख पा रहे हैं, ये अट्रैक्शन, ये अट्रैक्टिव चीज़ हमें पूरी दुनिया के साथ शेयर करनी है और पूरी दुनिया को अपनी नज़रों से इस पक्षी तक पहुंचाना है।
एग्जैक्टली।
तो वो जो एक फीलिंग होती है वो बहुत पैशन से भरपूर होती है।
वो एकदम एक फ्रैंटिक सा फीलिंग होता है कि आई मस्ट कैप्चर दिस बर्ड, एंड यू नो, फॉर माई ओन सेटिस्फैक्शन एंड टू शो अदर्स ऑल्सो दैट दिस इज प्रूफ दैट द बर्ड हैज़ एक्चुअली अराइव्ड इन this location. Otherwise, you know, you can say that I have seen this bird, but when you have a photographic proof, then it's all the more convincing.
चलिए अगली तस्वीर की ओर आते हैं।
This is a red-necked phalarope.
मैम बिल्कुल, रेड phalarope और रेड नेक्ड phalarope, सिर्फ ये जो नेक्ड शब्द बीच में आता है, इसका मतलब ये हमारा ध्यान नेक की तरफ लेकर जाता है, यानी कि सिर्फ एक नेक अलग है। लेकिन ये दोनों पक्षी एक दूसरे से जुदा कैसे हैं?
You know, in breeding plumage, red-necked phalarope has a chestnut-colored neck, while the red phalarope in breeding plumage is tomato red underneath, and I mean, even the face is red, and it's got a broad black yellow beak with black tip, so it's more red, while the red-necked phalarope is only red in the neck. But the difference between, it's quite difficult to differentiate between these two phalaropes in non-breeding plumage, like in winter. So the real difference is, the basic difference is the shape of the beak. In red phalaropes, the beak is short and broad. In red-necked phalaropes, it's like a thin needle-like beak. It's a thin needle-like beak, and the red-necked phalarope is also slimmer and slightly streaked on the back, while the red phalarope is chunkier and has a smooth upper parts, has smooth upper parts.
अगले पक्षी की ओर बढ़ते हैं। This is just like a parrot, but the color is different.
It's not a parrot, it's a parakeet. It's called the Malabar parakeet, endemic to the Western Ghats. I have seen the Malabar parakeet at two different locations. Hosanagara in Shimoga, Karnataka, and Madikari in Coorg. This parakeet looks very different from other parakeets because it's lilac grey in color. It's also called the blue-winged parakeet. It has a long blue tail if you with a yellow tip. Its wings are also blue, and the most beautiful part of this bird, or the aspect of this bird, is the blue and black collar and red beak which the male has. The female is not so attractive, but the male is very attractive, and it is a forest parakeet. All, yes, all other parakeets are green in color. Even the plum-headed parakeet has a red face and head, but it is green in color. This is the only parakeet belonging to the forests of the Western Ghats which is lilac blue in color. It's a very subtle shade of blue. Very beautiful to look at.
So what was your first reaction when you found this bird?
I was waiting for a long time to get a picture of this bird. I first got it in Karnataka in Shimoga. Then I was happy. Then I got it in Madikeri. These birds actually feed on grass seeds and berries. So otherwise they have parakeet-like behavior, flying off in huge flocks and all that. But they are also very shy compared to, let's say, a rose-ringed parakeet. They are, because they are forest parakeets, they want to maintain a distance from humans.
Ma'am, here I would like to ask you a question. When you finally get that perfect image, what is your first reaction?
Relief. First reaction is relief. Because my friends tell me that you are always looking at the pictures, going through, scrolling the pictures. That is because I want to know that whether I have got the perfect shot or not.
अगले पक्षी की बात करते हैं. This is owl, but it's not a common owl. It's something different.
This is the Nicobar scops owl, which is found only in the Nicobar Islands.
That's why the name says Nicobar owls.
Yes, scops owl. In fact, this bird we saw in Great Andamans and in near Campbell Bay. It was a very wary owl. In the sense, it was trying to keep a distance from us. It was perched on a high branch. It had very striking yellow eyes and big feet. It was a brownish owl and it was giving these hoots. So we could sense its presence and we took these shots.
But was the owl comfortable while you were clicking the pictures?
Well,
because it's very dark.
I'll tell you, we shoot these owls because they're all nocturnal. So we shoot them with torches.
Oh.
But our guide, they tell us, you only have 3 seconds or 4 seconds to shoot. After that, I'm putting off the torch. So we don't want to, because owls, they can, I'm sure they get uncomfortable with the light on their faces. Otherwise, we will not be able to see these birds because they are nocturnal birds. Like there are other owls like the mottled wood owl, the Indian eagle owl, the Eurasian eagle owl, which is seen in Ladakh. They are owls which are seen in daytime. Barn owl, I've seen in daytime also. So it is, you can shoot these owls without any difficulty. But these are all nocturnal owls. Without a light source on them, you won't be able to neither see them or take a shot.
Now we'll see the next picture. This is again owl or something else?
This is Hume's hawk owl.
Oh, but we call it Hume's bubuk.
Same thing. And it is again endemic to the Andaman Islands, not Nicobar.
Okay.
And it is, we saw it near Chiria Tapu in cultivated fields.
So was it challenging to find this owl?
It was, because we were waiting for the call. And once the call came, then we had to search for it with torchlight, of course. And this owl is shy. It doesn't, you can't, keep the torchlight on it for long, because it just gives you few seconds and then it flies off. And it's a medium-sized owl, chocolate in color.
But again with yellow eyes and beautiful eyes.
And a curved beak. So it's a beautiful owl. We were walking up and down one place where we heard the hooting. And we kept walking up and down, and finally we heard that the owl came and settled on a bare branch. So we thought, now is the moment. You have to take a shot.
But ma'am, you are not just photographing it, you're watching it also. So do you get time to watch these type of owls?
Then when you have only a few seconds, you can't watch through binoculars. You can't. There's no time. But when you're looking at the owl through your viewfinder, through your camera, then you can see the owl. And my theory is, the clearer you see the object, the sharper the picture will be. If you are not seeing the picture, the object properly, your image will be dull.
Let's come to the next picture.
It's actually a finch. It's called red crossbill. You know, it's quite a large finch.
Oh.
And I shot it in Sandakphu, which is 12,000 feet high, which is the peak of the Singalila range, which is one of the highest peaks. And the weather was very bad because sometimes the sun would go behind clouds, sometimes the sun would come out, the light would become harsh. So it was difficult to shoot it.
So coming to the next picture, and I know about this bird. It's called Sultan tit, if I'm not wrong, ma'am.
Yes.
So why I know about this bird is because of its royal look.
To me, it is Sultan of all tits. And the yellow crest is like a mukut. It's like a crown.
Right.
And it is one of the most beautiful birds that I have seen. I shot it in Dihing Patkai.
Okay.
And there was a Holland tree. It's a kind of tree which is found there, which was full of birds and good birds.
All mixed birds?
Mixed flock. And there were lots of Sultan tits. But I was focusing only on the Sultan tit because it was my wish for a long time to photograph this bird. And I was very happy when I was able to do so.
Coming to the next word. Oh my God, it seems like someone has painted on its body.
It's called the painted francolin. It's a bird of grasslands.
I think this is the same bird which hides somewhere within the grasses to take care of itself and for the self-defense, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Can you tell us about its habitat and all?
It's basically a bird of grassland and cultivation. And it stays hidden, but when it wants to call out to females or respond to a call of a female, it perches on a boulder, like here in this picture, or even on tops of trees, and it calls. And I have a very crude translation of its call, which is quite similar to that of a black francolin. And you know, kar 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 is like that. It's a call which is often heard in North India. And this painted francolin is a bird basically of peninsular India. Okay. I got this bird in Bhigwan near Pune. But it's a beautiful bird.
Coming to the next bird, ma'am.
Rufous-necked hornbill. It has a well discernible neck, orange neck. Its head is also orange. And it is seen in tall trees in India in various places like Manas Tiger Reserve, Lat Panchor in North Bengal where I saw it, in Buxa Tiger Reserve. In fact, it is seen in Southeast Asia, from India to Southeast Asia.
ये सारे पक्षियों को आपने अपने कैमरा में कैद किया, देश दुनिया में आप घूमी, प्रकृति के बीच आप रही, आपने उस खूबसूरत जीवन को, उन पलों को एंजॉय किया। लेकिन आज आपने ये भी देखा होगा कि इस बदलते सिनेरियो में कैसे हम प्रकृति को अनदेखा कर देते हैं, जबकि हम ये जानते हैं कि प्रकृति हमारी ज़िंदगी के लिए कितनी ज़रूरी है। पक्षी एक ज़माने में हमारी खिड़की के बाहर हमें आवाज़ लगाया करते थे, लेकिन आज हमारे शहर में भी नज़र नहीं आते। क्या संदेश होगा आपका उन तमाम लोगों के लिए?
वातावरण का संरक्षण सबसे महत्वपूर्ण रोल होगा हमारा। हम अपने चारों तरफ की जो ग्रीनरी है, जो हरियाली है, उसको हमें बनाए रखना है। बिकॉज़ अगर आप जंगल काटते हैं, आप पेड़ काटते हैं, आप ग्रासलैंड्स काटते हैं, तो पक्षी का घर खो जाता है। तो वातावरण को बचाए रखना है। और दूसरी बात, जब आप पक्षी देखने जाते हैं फील्ड में, या पक्षी का फ़ोटो लेने की कोशिश आप कर रहे हैं, तो एथिकली कीजिए। पक्षी से दूरी बनाए रखिए। ऐसा ना हो कि पक्षी डिस्टर्ब हो।
हम कैमरे में उसे कैद तो करें, लेकिन हम उसकी निजी ज़िंदगी में दखल ना दें।
एग्जैक्टली। और इनफैक्ट मैं जब सिक्किम में थी पक्षी के फ़ोटोग्राफ्स लेने के लिए, मैंने काफ़ी तस्वीरें मैंने गाड़ी से ली, सो दैट पक्षी को लीस्ट डिस्टर्बेंस हो। जब आप गाड़ी से उतरकर चलने लगते हैं पक्षी की तरफ, वो डर जाते हैं और दे फ्लाई ऑफ। तो मैं गाड़ी के अंदर बैठकर खिड़की से मैंने फ़ोटो लिया।
बिल्कुल।
और वो अच्छी भी आए।
बिल्कुल।
तो ऐसा हो कि पक्षियों को डिस्टर्बेंस ना हो।
बिल्कुल।
और हम एंजॉय भी करें, फ़ोटो भी अच्छे आए, और पक्षी सुरक्षित रहे।
बिल्कुल। पक्षियों की सुरक्षा, प्रकृति की सुरक्षा हमारी अहम जिम्मेदारी है और हमें इसे निभाना भी चाहिए। बहरहाल मैम, आप इस कार्यक्रम में हमारे साथ शामिल हुई और इतने सारे पक्षियों के बारे में आपने हमें विस्तार से बताया। मैं ये ज़रूर कहूँगी कि आपने कहीं ना कहीं इन तस्वीरों के माध्यम से हमें देश दुनिया के पक्षियों के रूबरू करा दिया, जो शायद हमने कभी नहीं देखे थे या सुना था, लेकिन हम उन्हें देख नहीं पाए थे। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया मैम।
धन्यवाद।
हम रहें या ना रहें, प्रकृति सदा रहेगी। तो ध्यान रहे कि हमें प्रकृति का संरक्षण करते रहना है, तभी हम जीवित रहेंगे। इसी बात के साथ अभी के लिए दीजिए इजाज़त और देखते रहिए सनसेट टीवी। नमस्कार।
सनसेट टीवी के और भी प्रोग्राम्स देखने के लिए सब्सक्राइब करें हमारा YouTube चैनल और हाँ, इन्हें लाइक और शेयर करना ना भूलें।